Hello again, you're listening to Vol, and this time I've got a very special War Machine Hordes battle report to share with you guys. It is at 100 points with 2 casters per side. So have a look at the first photograph here, and we're underway. It's Protectorate of Menoth up against Retribution, me against my flatmate at home here. And he's recently picked up a Hyperion, which I painted for him, so most of the painted models on his army in the green Retribution are painted by me, so wanted to get a photo opportunity together because I've actually gone out and bought 2 Judicators. I've had the battle engine for a while, and my Protectorate collection is quite large. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to challenge him to a 100-point game, just so we can get all of our really cool models on the field, and try and make it as picturesque as possible. Also want to say something about 100 points. I feel that when the game gets very, very large, it actually is a good opportunity to get some strategy and tactics in there, because the more decisions you have to make in a game, the more likely it is that the player who performs better will win. But also, balance-wise, some factions and casters do a lot better than others. If you look at a caster like P. Haley, the things that she can bring to a large game where she affects a lot of models at once is much more effective than, say, a caster like Epic Vlad, who just affects a few models at a time. Factions like Minions don't really get too much at the large points level, but Krix, Kador, Signa have a lot of these control area spells and control feats which just are massive, so you can't take 100 points and above too seriously, but it is pretty cool. Now, my approach to this game was to use P. Severius, who has Eye of Menoth and a very powerful feat against 2 casters at once. Defender's Ward's going to be great here in Ashes to Ashes. So I think that if you're going to play 100 points with 2 casters with Protectorate, he should definitely be one of your casters. The other caster should really be the Harbinger because of her ability to Crusaders call the entire army, to use her feat on the entire enemy army, and the fact that she can hide behind a huge base model. Also, 10 focus is great for allocating to all of your jacks in your battle group, but I chose not to take her because I didn't really want her to slow the game down and just to make the army a bit too cruel to my opponent. I wanted to try something else. I probably should have gone with Epic Fiora, but for the same reason, I think she would have been too effective on the jacks, and with so many of his models cramped together, the automatic fire and the blast damage would have just been over the top. So I went with P. Kreoss, who's also a powerful choice because he knocks down a lot of models in their army and allows all my shooting to come into play, but I just thought I would have been more interested to see what P. Kreoss can come up with in this situation rather than those other casters, so that's what I felt to do. If I rematch him and play this scenario again, maybe I'll play with Harbinger and Fiora, we'll see. P. Fiora also a very good choice for her feat. My opponent has had this similar sort of view of the game. I mean, I think taking Kalissa would have been a really good option, and maybe Ossian for their feats, but he's gone with Epic Virus and Rahn, partly because this is his first attempt at using the Hyperion ever, and he wants to get a synergy chain off, and he's been playing Rahn a lot lately and practicing with him, so that's just the caster choices he wanted to make. Scenario is incoming. You can actually see from both these first 2 photos, what the layout is after deployment. Just deploying models where you can, where they can fit, basically, and can head up the guts, make sure your casters are in the middle. This is going to be a kill box game as well, just to make it extra dangerous for the casters participating. So another photo here, looking at my front lines here. I've actually got a Devout, which I think is very important in a big game, because there's so many guns that can be brought to bear, especially against Retribution, against your casters. So the Devout's right in the center next to Kreoss and P. Severius. They're also going to be sharing the Wracks. Wracks also another good choice for this large game where both casters can benefit from them. And over on the other flank here, Battle Engine, which is looking quite nice. I've got some Zealots and some Knights Exemplar. Knights Exemplar aren't my first choice in smaller games, but in this game I think they'll go unnoticed until the end game, and I'll be able to use the Doors of Judgement ability, or I think that's what the miracle is called, the one where you get to make a final attack with one guy as he is left with +5 to his stats. Looking at my flatmate's army here, Chris, he's got his Colossal, which I painted for him. Did a pretty good job on the base. Haven't quite finished with the dry brushing and highlighting on the actual chassis itself, but he's looking pretty cool. He's got Scarith Issia and Destrothane there, and some Invictors and Phoenix. Next up, looking at the flank here, he's got an unpainted Iris model there, which is actually meant to represent Epic Iris, even though it is the P Iris model, and a couple of Griffins in there as well. They try to strike force out in the front as usual. Haven't done really much painting on his space tick yet, but it's coming along. Another look at my army here, 2 Judicators. As you can see, one of them's holding a burning rack in the air. That one's so that you can tell which one's bonded to Epic Fiora when I am playing him with Epic Fiora. Next photo shows you a bit of a better picture of him. Used a bit of green stuff just to sculpt on those flames and do a bit of lighting effect around his arm. Could do a bit more in terms of painting on the sky, but it just takes so long to paint these guys. I just got bored of it after a little while and did something else. Blessing of Vengeance there, of course, it's Severius is around. So next image here is a look at my first turn. I picked up the first turn here. My opponent actually won the roll-off but chose to go second, which is not a bad option at large points games, because with so much stuff in the field, it's quite an advantage to be able to put down the stuff that you want to counter elements of his army opposite those particular models. But haven't moved the Errants too far forward. I wanted to stay in range of the book because they're getting tough from Rhupert and the no knockdown, and I wanted to make sure that the strike force had to move and shoot rather than getting the aiming bonus, because then they need 6s to hit and 7s to kill, meaning that most of my guys would not be destroyed by the crossbow bolts. Next image, that's exactly what it tries to do. He moves them forward, the army just shuffles forward a little bit. He's got Polarity Shield on his strike force, which I thought was a cool idea. The thing about Polarity Shield is that for me to remove it, I'd have to use Purification, which will also get rid of Defender's Ward on my Errants and the Judicator. And in this game, I've got Defender's Ward up twice from 2 casters with it. Eye of Menoth on Severius as well would be wiped out if I used Purification as well, so I didn't really plan ahead. Next image, my turn 2, just sweeping in with troops as much as I can. Judicator's actually not really in position to do much. His whole army is immune to, well, is actually protected against blast damage by a force field from Rahn and a deflection from Viros. Had a nice little move here with the battle engine, because Rhoven came in from behind and gave him Menoth sight, and the battle engine was able to snipe Epic Iris early in the game, which means that he can't get rid of Defender's Sword now. He can only ignore it with Blessed, and same with Eye of Menoth, and my jacks can't be hit by the Disruptor Bolt either. And Zealots have mini-feated, meaning that I should be able to get a couple more rounds with them. But other than that, just playing it very safe, keeping my casters well away from his shooting and next to the Devout at all times. Next image, you can see that the Daughters of the Flame just trying to hit around this house or on the flank here just to cause some problems. I don't think I'll be doing too much with him this game, but if I can jam him and engage him, it'll actually slow down some of his activations. We're not playing with a clock, by the way, it's just a friendly game, of course. Next image, the Hyperion is moving forward a little bit. Actually, it had attempted to starburst cannon me with the main gun, but didn't quite get the crit. In the meantime, moving forward with some of his jacks and cavalry here, picking off the Exemplar Errants, passing some of their tough rolls, but not all. And the Invictus causing a big traffic jam in the centre. Next image, you can see sort of where it's ending up. The Colossal hasn't managed to destroy too much just yet. Wasn't able to get too much done with Tough on the Errants as it is, and my Jack's fairly safe from his charging at this current point. Next image, I believe this is my third turn. What I wanted to do here is obviously feat with Kreoss, but not Severius because he's too far away, and then move in and flamethrower those big groups of Invictus with both Judicators, so that's the plan. Go to the next photo. The first Judicator comes in and actually takes out Scareth Isyan. Because Isyan is knocked down, I was able to flamethrower him twice and then rocket launcher him twice as well, which is really effective. Eye of Menoth making the rocket launchers power 17 with the direct hit, and very easy to get the direct hit with Rat 3 from both the Choir and the Eye. I think it's Rat 4 even, and of course Defense 5 from being knocked down. The Invictus quite hard to take out here with the Flames because they're all using defensive line and deflection, so it was a bit tough, but I managed to kill quite a lot of them. Next image, both Judicators having moved in. He's got a lot of his army knocked down, but the back lines aren't, and just moving a position here, taking the right flank very strongly with the battle engine moving into it, and the Zealots just getting entrenched in their lines as well. So next image, you got a couple of Daughters of the Flame engaging the battle mages. Rahn has not feated yet, so hopefully that'll stop him from doing too much damage with the battle mages when he does feat. Viros had feated last turn, so as I was doing a lot of damage to him, he was getting some free moves, but it wasn't a very effective feat because I'd knocked down a lot of his models, and of course while they're knocked down they can't get the feat move from Viros. Next image, general view of the battlefield in his follow-up turn. Doing a lot of shooting here at my Judicator, which is actually on fire. But the Judicator's hanging tight there, not taking enough damage to be destroyed at this point. But we still have the Hyperion to come into combat. So next image, what happens here is the Hyperion, looking at control ranges, decided that he couldn't charge through and get into combat with both jacks, and then we realised after the game that he actually would have been able to destroy both jacks if he'd rolled well enough, because Virus gives him 360 vision. So I'm glad that he didn't do that, because the Judicator on the right has been severely damaged by shooting in the previous turn, and the Judicator on the left isn't doing too well either. He's taken some damage, but the Hyperion has +3 from synergy, and he gets concentrated power from the Arcanist. So going in there, he does actually manage to wreck the Judicator on the left with the help of the other jacks and cavalry. But the Judicator on the right, although it takes a lot of shooting damage, is left with about 8 boxes, maybe 6 boxes, and gives me a fighting chance to retaliate here. So in the next photo, the Judicator does move across, actually gets repaired for about 4 boxes, and then takes a free strike from Discordia, which he survives comfortably, because he has Defender's Sword on him, of course, and moves over and attacks his Judicator. I've got the Choir bonus and Eye of Menoth, so he's going in at power 23, and attacking him 5 times, leaving him on just a few boxes left. I'd actually forgotten to attack him the 5th time or the 6th time with the Vassals and Sylys attack, and if I'd remembered that, it would have been much easier to kill him, but as it stood, I had to move in there with Blessing of Vengeance and the Devout and shoot at him with the Battle Engine before I wiped him out. Next photo, just showing you here, moving in the Blessing of Vengeance with Strength, Power 13, +2 from the Choir and 1 from Eye of Menoth takes him up to 16, enough to do some significant damage to the Colossal and help me to take him out with the Battle Engine, of course. But it's going to be hard to control the zone and contest it over the left here, because that's where the majority of his forces are. Next photo, had to employ the Battle Engine to stand still and boost to hit and damage against his Hyperion, but he finally wrecked it. My Colossal is still standing with maybe about 8 to 10 boxes, but we know in the following turn he's just going to get shot at by the remainder of the Retribution army and destroyed. But feeling good about this game, because I'm doing very well on the right-hand flank. I've got the Knight's Exemplar in there taking out the Griffin and threatening his Battle Engine, so he's going to have to bring one of his casters over here to deal with it, and that's when I might have an opportunity to stop him. This turn I have feated with Severius, catching both Rahn and Virus in the feet, so he won't be able to do too much with them, giving me an opportunity to get into a better position. So next photo, here's where we stand. I've got Kreoss and Severius in behind the Judicator with the Devout in range of 2 inches, and Kreoss hopefully should get cover from the wrecked Judicator once it goes down. Next image here, charges in with the Death's Door Thane, doesn't quite manage to ruin the Judicator with that, so that's fine. He's also got his Battle Mages trying to pop off some shots at it, which doesn't quite ruin it either. And next photo, what happens is the Stormfall Archers do brutal damage against the Judicator and wipe it out. So no more Colossals left in the field. There is carnage scattered all across the battlefield, debris everywhere. As you can see, I've also moved in my Vanquisher and crushed his Discordia. Vanquisher did very well. They're rolling some decent damage dice, but he's going in at power 19 or something like that, because he's got, again, Choir and Eye of Menoth, which has been a great combination this game. He's been firing a Space Stick at the Battle Engine, but the Space Stick is power 14 with rapid shots, and that's -6 with no boosts, so didn't manage to get any damage done on the Battle Engine, and I'm glad that he was shooting at that instead of my infantry, because the Vassal of Judgement is great, soaking up damage in that situation with armor 20. Next image, he's moved his Phoenix all the way around the flank here, killing some of my guys with Combustion. I've still got the Book and the Blessing of Vengeance in this zone though, so he still hasn't managed to score, but things looking more grim for him on the right hand flank, where I've got some really powerful units. So next image, this is my turn where I realised that because I've gone over and dominated with Kreoss in that zone, he has to essentially kill both of my casters in one turn to win, so I've camped as much focus as I possibly can, keeping them both within the kill box. Severius is out in the open, but he's far away from enemy troops, and this is after the feat turns, so he's got his focus back. So what I expect him to do there is go in and try and kill Kreoss and jam his zone full of guys, but if he can do that, then hopefully I should be able to retaliate and kill everything but Virus, because Virus can't contest the zone. So the next photo, here's exactly what happens. He uses some spells from Rahn to knock Kreoss down, then charges in with Virus and does a lot of damage to him, eventually killing Kreoss. But of course, this is a two-caster game, so you can't automatically lose by losing one caster. He has to kill both of them. So because he didn't put anything else in the zone, if we go to the next photo, well, he has put a few infantry in the zone. All I have to do is move in there and kill the battle mages and the Invictor. So the way I do that is just in the following turn, I've moved up with Rhoven and his bodyguard to kill the battle mages, and Severius has actually charged the Invictor by himself and just boosted hit and damage and killed him. And that sealed the deal. I won the game. You can see in the next photo the final photo of the battlefield, and attrition-wise he's doing pretty well here, but I've still got my battle engine and a whole unit of Knights Exemplar, and having lost Kreoss doesn't really matter because Virus doesn't contest the zone. I managed to get 6 control points and win, only needing 5, but 3 plus 3 is 6. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle report. I certainly enjoyed taking the photos, playing the game, and getting these awesome looking models on the field. So actually hoping to play some more 100-point games in the future, but until then we've got Battlecry weekend coming up this weekend, probably seeing that with Khador and Menoth, but I'll let you guys know how I go on the following Monday. Catch you later.